All right, let's open up a case file. And I gotta warn you, this one is rough. We're looking at SCP-3001, also known as Red Reality. And this isn't just about some weird object in a box. No, this is a deep dive into isolation, into what reality even is, and just how much a person can endure. And it's all documented under conditions that are, well, they're beyond extreme.
You know, the whole story, everything we're about to go through, really just comes down to this one question. Think about it. What does it really mean to be alone? I mean, sure, you can be alone in a room or stranded on an island, right? Heck, even floating alone in space. But what SCP-3001 shows us is a kind of loneliness, a solitude so complete, so absolute, it makes you question what it even means to exist in the first place.
Okay, so before we get to the person at the heart of this tragedy, we have to understand the place, the environment. So, let's start with the basics. What exactly is SCP-3001, according to the official Foundation summary?
So, the Foundation calls it a paradoxical parallel non-dimension. Big words, right? But what it really means is, it's a place that shouldn't exist. It's like a crack, a gap between realities. It was created by a very specific tech failure, what we call a Class C broken entry wormhole. Basically, it's a one-way ticket to an infinite empty void, a dead end in space-time.
Okay, to really get why this place is so terrifying, we've got to talk a little bit about its physics. See, the Foundation has this way of measuring reality itself. We call the unit of measurement a Hume. The easiest way to think about it is like air pressure. Our reality, the world you and I are in right now, has a nice, stable pressure of 1 Hume. And that number, that baseline of 1, that is absolutely crucial for understanding the horror we're about to get into.
So, what's the Hume level inside SCP-3001? It's 0.032. I mean, just look at that number. It's practically zero. It's so unbelievably low that the basic rules of the universe, like cause and effect, they barely work in there. The very fabric of reality as we know it, it's almost completely gone.
And here's where it gets truly nightmarish. This is the central horror of SCP-3001. In a place with so little reality, you can't really die. Not easily, anyway. The file says an organism could lose over 70% of its body and just keep on functioning. But, and this is a huge but, reality is like water. It always wants to find a balance. So anything from our high reality world, our 1 Hume world, will slowly have its own reality leak out, just diffuse into the void, until it just stops existing. So, who experienced this firsthand? This brings us to the human element of this file, Dr. Robert Scranton. He was one of our top researchers at Site-120, actually working on a device to stabilize reality. And the tragic irony is, he was working on it with his wife, Dr. Anna Lang. One day, there's a totally unexpected earthquake, the machine malfunctions, and a wormhole opens up. And it pulls them in, right into SCP-3001.
For years, everyone just assumed he was dead, gone, an unfortunate lab accident. But the reason we know anything about SCP-3001, the reason this file even exists, is because we eventually recovered his audio logs. A truly chilling, first-hand account of everything he went through.
And what those logs show is just a devastating breakdown of a human being. He starts out as a scientist, you know. Even in his panic, he's trying to be rational, to document his surroundings. But after a year of being totally, completely alone, his mind starts to break. Then around year 3, the low Hume environment really starts to do its work. His body literally begins to fall apart. And by year 5, he's on the edge of complete and total annihilation, both physically and mentally.
This quote here, it's from early on, and it really shows you who he was. I need to keep a record. There might be some poor bastard in the future who ends up like me. Even trapped in this impossible nightmare, his training just kicks in. He's thinking about protocol, about the next guy. He's a Foundation researcher to his core, trying to find some meaning in the horror.
Imagine being in an infinite black void. Nothing to see, nothing to touch. The only thing Scranton had was the tiny, blinking red recording light on the control panel that got pulled in with him. He started calling it Little Red, and that little light, it became everything to him. His only friend, the only thing he could talk to, and the only thing that witnessed his slow, agonizing descent.
The logs then start to document his physical decay, and it is clinical, and it is absolutely horrific. This is that Hume equalization process we talked about. His body's reality is just dissolving. He says his hands become like spider webs, so non-corporeal he can pass one through the other. He literally pulls his own thumb off and feels no pain. His organs start to detach and just float away from his core. And the worst part of it all? The
The most terrifying thing? He's conscious. He is aware through every single second of it.
This is a log entry from more than 5 years in. It's his lowest point. He's barely understandable, just begging for his wife, Anna. He thinks he's lost his wedding ring, the one physical thing that still connects him to her in his old life. It's just a moment of pure, unfiltered despair.
And that brings us to the end, the final act of this whole tragedy. You see, the story doesn't just end with Scranton lost out there in the void forever. No. After almost 6 long years, something, a piece of his story, finally came back.
The time is so important here. 5 years, 11 months, and 21 days. That's how long he was in there. And then one day, we're testing some new reality-stabilizing tech, and the control panel, the very same one he'd been talking into all that time, it just pops back into existence, right there in the lab.
And the panel? It wasn't empty. It was covered in biological matter, blood, bile, hair, and yes, a severed human hand. Lab analysis confirmed it all belonged to Robert Scranton. The implications were just staggering. He hadn't just died out there, he had been torn apart.
And the final gut-wrenching twist? His wife, Dr. Anna Lang, was the one supervising the test. She saw the panel appear, she saw the severed hand, wearing his wedding ring, she accessed the logs, and for the first time in almost 6 years, she heard his voice. The report just says she fainted. I can't even imagine.
That's pretty much where the official file on SCP-3001 ends. But the story, man, the case is anything but closed. It just leaves us with these incredibly unsettling questions about what really happened out there.
So officially, Dr. Scranton's status is unknown. All attempts to get him back have failed. We know a significant portion of his body came back on that panel, but given the bizarre physics of SCP-3001, we just can't be 100% sure that was all of him. And that's the question that keeps researchers up at night, right? Did all of him come back? Or is there some fragment of his mind, a piece of his being, still trapped in that endless darkness? Maybe even slowly regenerating, only to be torn apart again, forever and ever.
When you get right down to it, the SCP-3001 file really forces you to think about something chilling. It gives us a scenario where death isn't the worst-case scenario. It's a luxury you can't have, an eternity of conscious decay, completely and utterly alone. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What is a fate worse than death?